To Minister of Defense, Archibald Gray. You will be pleased to know that we are ahead of schedule on all the refits. Shipyard space is still trouble, but thankfully we were able to requisition a few extra dockyards to use for the refits. Most of the refits of the older ships are done, and now we are waiting on the Design Bureau to put forward new designs to lay down before the before the next year. The plan is to lay a bunch down around Christmas. Put the keels down and then have a ceremony on Christmas Day with all the dock workers to give them special recognition for their service to the Navy. I did receive your letter about suggestions for the next battle line. I would argue that you are, should I say, barking up the wrong tree. I understand the government's approach to naval matters is a bit more shooting in the dark and hoping you hit something, but frankly, I really don't think that the Prime Minister is too far off. He's just wrong on a few main points. Firstly, I do agree with him on the battle line issue. However, we simply do not have enough battleships at the moment. Secondly, cruisers. That has been a growing problem for many years, and I have argued several thousand times that we need to find a solution. No one has listened to me, so now I am taking my time with designing new cruisers. The Perth class and the other classes of cruisers that we have refit should suffice. They're good cruisers, they've been in service for a long time, and they've proven their worth time and time again. I don't understand what the government's problem is with saying we can keep them in service for a few more years. We'll put them, once we have new cruisers, we will put them in less demanding areas. Local security, patrolling, training. I don't need the government barking at me every 20 minutes on the phone to tell me we need new cruisers. I am well aware. So if you please tell the opposition party to lay off the phone calls, because I'm getting about 14 a day and I cannot get my work done. Please tell them to stop. If you want a specific list, I have attached it in this letter. Third, destroyers. I am growing frustrated with the progress that your personal designer has been making. The new classes of light destroyers will suffice. I do want heavier destroyers. Those designs will be coming out soon. I just haven't had a chance to look at them. But your designer knows nothing about the strategy of destroyers that we were building. So please tell him to know his place, and if I want his suggestions, I will ask for it. I do not need him barging into my office multiple times a day, demanding I look at this new set of recommendations. Fourth, and this one I hope you understand I am saying this with the most amount of professionalism that I can manage. I do not want you to make the requirements anymore. I do not care who is doing it in your staff to make the requirements that they believe is necessary for our battle fleet. It's not realistic. I had a design come. Where is it? Right here. I had a design come in, and it says you want a 38-knot heavy cruiser with quadruple 10-inch guns. I can't do that right now. You give me another 100 quintillion pounds, I might be able in 20 years to build it, but I'm not certainly doing it now. I can't. Some of these suggestions for cruiser ideas, or even just general mission ideas, are absolutely ludicrous. I do not care which misguided, drunken, hub-crawling maniac on your staff is responsible for those suggestions. You better tell them to stop before I have the military police look into them for possible corruption or I don't know what. Interference, obstruction, I don't care. Stop it. I cannot do some of these designs. Next, I want to address your recommendations board. They're terrible. All of them. Most of them, I should be frank, are somewhat reasonable. And then every once in a while, you all set out a new list of recommendations, of requirements. I have 115 contractors trying to figure out how they're going to design, say, 14,000 individual parts to make one of your recommendations possible. That's being very, very minimalistic. I have over 16 shipyards and shipbuilders constantly calling me. I have had multiple phone calls with designers and foremen in tears begging me to tell you all to stop. They design something. They submit designs to us. Then suddenly another letter arrives for them and they have to redesign the whole thing. I can't keep doing this. And tell Admiral Preston he should know better than to just submit designs off the cuff. I can't keep doing this. May I remind you, Minister, that I have a job. Chief of the Naval Design Bureau and commander of a fleet. I am trying to reorganize the Navy based off of Admiral Preston's suggestions, which are very good suggestions. Reorganizing the fleet, establishing battle groups, moving ships away from less conflict-prone areas to areas where conflict may be more likely. You are causing an unbelievable amount of stress with the government telling me every 15 minutes that I have to do something different. And please do not get me started on what I've had to deal with helping the Marines and the Special Forces service. Angus, well, I should be professional here, General Angus MacDonald, my cousin, well, let me correct myself, Sir Angus MacDonald, has been writing to me almost weekly about more delays. But it's not with the Army this time. It's with the Ministry of Defense. He has told me on 15 separate occasions, including 4 in person this week, which is hence why one of the major reasons I'm writing this letter, that you keep denying requests for manuals? Manuals, of all things. He has got an entire series of notes. He wants a staff with him to create manuals based off experience with him and his captains as a board to write up the general manuals for training. You have denied him that. The ministry has denied him that. Your department. Please, do not make me have to go to the Prime Minister again. Because this time, I don't think the Prime Minister's government is going to support him. He's narrowly skated by. That vote of no confidence after the scandal, which you yourself got dragged in by the King to deal with, because I had to raise such a fuss, because no one would listen to me, or Angus, or the captains of the Navy, or the design bureaus, or anyone, because the inter-service fighting. The Prime Minister barely survived a vote of no confidence, and I really don't think you want me to go to Parliament again. Because if I have to go to Parliament, and I have to tell them, Ministry of Defence is not doing its job, you are going to lose your job. Hands down. And if you want even proof, I have a stack of folders on my desk. And in those folders are every memo I've written about these issues. Every rejection, every we'll get back to you later, everything is in that folder. So, what to do? This isn't blackmail. I want you to understand this. I have to keep those records. And I've been sifting through those records, and I'm wondering myself, why do I even bother asking for permission anymore? With that in mind, if someone from the Ministry of Defense comes up to you and says that all Ministry of Defense recommendations are being withheld until further notice by the Design Bureau and will not be passed along to the designers, and if they are passed along to the designers, they will go to Parliament. You understand who wrote that. I am tired of asking for permission. I am tired of doing this. I am a naval officer, and I have done things by the book. There's been very few occasions where I have deliberately gone outside of the standard norm. And I only do it in emergencies, and this is starting to become one. I am trying to get the designs finalized. I am trying to get the costs finalized. I cannot do that if I have people from the government coming into my office day after day, hour after hour, knocking on my front door at 10 o'clock in the evening while I'm trying to have dinner with my wife, my kids, and my newborn grandchildren who deal with it. So please understand, I am putting this as politely as I can. Get your grubby mitts out of my job, and everything will go smoothly. I cannot have interference every day. You cannot expect, reasonably, a worker to get his job done if every 15 minutes some bureaucrat comes up to him and says, "You can't do that, chap. You have to do it this way." And then another bureaucrat says, No, you can't do it that way. See, that way went out of date 4 weeks ago. You have to do it this way. Imagine I'm a factory worker, okay? I'm a factory foreman. I need to make sure that the ship keeps running. Product is being produced. The materials are gathered. They're sent to the right spots. They go where they need to go. And every day, I get a letter from the company. And the company says I have to change everything. I already changed everything the previous day. I go away for the weekend. The factory's closed. Maybe a bank holiday, let's say. Factory's closed. I come in the next morning, and all the machines are flipped around and hanging from the ceiling, because you're pouring a new floor to make it more efficient. Do you perhaps see the problem now, Minister? I'm asking very politely to please lay off. I will submit the finalized plans to you before the weekend and before the Christmas holidays. All I ask is that you make sure come the new year, I do not have to send a letter like this again. Because if I do, I am going to have to go higher up again. We cannot do this as a functioning military. And please, I am the only one, and if you really want proof that you should probably handle this, please understand that I am the one holding Angus back from going to the press. Because he's threatened to go to the press 17 times in the past 2 months. And I'm the only reason he hasn't gone to the papers. Because I tell him it would ruin his career. And even if he got the public on his side, the entire Special Forces service would be disbanded. But please understand, we are trying very hard to do our jobs, and we cannot do them if we're getting called up every 15 minutes to do something else. So, Minister, I hope this letter finds you well, and if I do not get to see you or have contact with you, have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you in the new year. Postscript. Add another Member of Parliament to that list. As I was just about to send this off to you, another Member of Parliament called with about 3 of his colleagues, demanding to know why I hadn't submitted the finalized drafts to Parliament yet. Would you please tell them to piss off? I'm tired of dealing with this. I'm going home for the rest of the day. I have a headache, and frankly, my doctor says I need to lower my stress. So I'm going home. If you need to call my office when you get this letter, please, please, for the love of God, call anybody else. I can't keep doing this. Please. I am begging you. Jesus. Better yet, I have someone you can call. If you need me, please call the following list, and if you absolutely need me 100%, beyond a shadow of a doubt, please call the Secretary of the Navy or Admiral Preston, because I'm going to be out for the rest of the day. Thank you, and have a good day, Minister.